Look into my eyes. When you see me on a show, when you see these fans, you know you've got the best in the damn world.
This is the Wrestling Matters podcast where we stand up for professional wrestling.
Here we fucking go!
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to a very special episode of the WCPW podcast, ladies and gents. That's right. This took place Saturday, September 3rd on the YouTube channel because, well, it seems that WCPW are going through some changes in terms of where they're going to put these streams up. So, I don't mind that as long as they put them up because, like I said, I was enjoying WCPW. WCPW Stacked, ladies and gents, the big show, their second big show. And I'm going to go through and review it and highlight it and hope you guys enjoy it. It kicked off with a match, Joe Coffey versus the big man Moose. These two just beat the hell out of each other. Hard-hitting stuff, loved it. It was even to start off with, it was like a feeling out process. Joe was looking to wrestle Moose and did a good job of that. Moose eventually ended up taking control, hard-hitting strikes, and Moose ended up beating Coffey, which was very surprising to me, but hey, a big win for the TNA superstar, and he showed respect to Coffey at the end as well, but like I say, a huge win for the now TNA superstar as well, but a great way to kick off the show, the big show itself. Kenny segment. Now the backstage reporter came out and introduced the very special guest GM of the evening, ladies and gents. It was Eric Bischoff. That's right, Eric Bischoff comes out, and now I want you guys to listen to this. If you listen to the actual video itself, if you go back and watch the video and listen to it very, very carefully as Bischoff is coming out, you can hear the NWO music because they announced him as the founding father of the NWO. You can actually hear the NWO music playing when he comes out, and that's a shoot right now. Go back and listen to it if you don't believe me. And yeah, it was big, and it was what it was, man. It really was. It was what it was. Bischoff comes out and announces his new protege, which was Priestley, the WCPW GM. Much to the dismay of Adam Blampied, who came out singing happy birthday to himself and was hoping to be the protege himself. But then, Bischoff suspended Prospect and kicked Blampied out of the building. So the security eventually ended up getting rid of him. And after the next match, they ended up just throwing him out of the building. Blampied and Prospect were out of the building, and later on before the main event you see them all sitting on a wall, all sitting on the side of a street together, which was hilarious. Right, ladies and gents, the next match was EC3 and Ligero, but it ended up being a triple threat match thanks to Bischoff. Pete Dunne got involved as well, so a very good triple threat match. So a surprising winner, which saw Ligero get the victory, which I was very surprised at, quite frankly. I didn't see that happening. I thought EC3 would have got the victory, but anyway. Ligero had a one-on-one match for a brief period with EC3. Dunne fought Ligero as well, and I believe it was the other way around. Well, Ligero and EC3 had a one-on-one match until Dunne ruined it. Dunne was dominant in this match, man. He really was. Ligero ended up taking control. Great match. Great three-way dance. Not the best I've seen, but it was great nonetheless. And it all ended with 2 attempts of the C4, which is the springboard DDT that Ligero does. I think he tried it on EC3, missed. And then he tried it on Don and hit it, and Don got pinned, and Ligero manages to take the victory. A big win for Ligero, especially against somebody the stature of Pete Dunne, and not only that, a TNA superstar in EC3, and EC3 showed respect to Ligero right after the match. And like I said, Blampied gets kicked out. I want to shoot about something out that took place during the Bischoff thing as well after that, but I'll do that later on. The next match was Doug Williams and Drew Galloway, and I was very happy with the outcome of this match because a great match, great wrestling match. You would expect it out of these two. These two are just the big horses. I mean, you've got the legend Doug Williams and the man who stands up for professional wrestling himself, Mr. Drew Galloway, as a babyface, and Doug Williams is the heel because he has this crusade of trying to beat the Yanks, as he calls it. Despite the fact that Drew Galloway wasn't the Yank, although he did work over in WWE and TNA, and he's still working there in TNA to this very day. But, like I said, great wrestling match, great hold, professional wrestling match at his best. Two guys going at it, which saw Drew Galloway eventually get the future shock and get the victory. You know, just chops galore, hard-hitting stuff, just a good old wrestling match. That's all it was. A good old wrestling match, and very good to watch, and very good to watch even more because Drew got the victory. And you know how, even though I respect Doug Williams, I'm not a big fan of his. I'm not, very much alike on Doug Williams. Just a little experience that I had with him at a wrestling show at one point. I didn't quite get the feeling he wanted to be there. But in any event, moving swiftly on, Marty Scurll, the Progress Wrestling champion and future participant or future member of the Ring of Honor roster, took on Will Ospreay. Again, another awesome match. Awesome match. And then again, you'd expect that with these two. I mean, you've got, like I say, a guy who's about to work in Ring of Honor, current Progress Wrestling champion, and Will Ospreay is the man, quite frankly, despite what Vader says. But he is the man. And a great match that ended with the Os Cutter from Marty Scurll, from Will Ospreay, that ended Marty Scurll and got the victory. Very good showing, and despite the fact that Will Ospreay wanted to shake hands, Marty had other ideas. But like great wrestling between the two, high flying stuff, classic Ospreay offense, and great Marty Scurll offense as well. Because he's the villain. The heel offense that he does as well. If you've watched him in other promotions, you understand what I'm saying. Just great stuff to watch, man. It really was great stuff to watch. And Ospreay, like I said, got the victory. Now, I'm going to go to Primate and Grado first, because basically Primate destroyed him. Just straight up destroyed him. Absolutely destroyed him, and got the victory off that. There's really not much to say. He was just dominant in the match, just unbelievable stuff, and Grado didn't last. I mean, that's why you never play Pokemon Go, ladies and gentlemen, because you never know what you can end up, or what you can end up in. And he obviously got that. A tag team match between Travis Banks, Martin Kirby against Slater and Gabriel Kidd, which saw Martin Kirby get the victory, even though I think he stole the spotlight from Travis Banks. It was a hard-hitting tag team match, great tag team match to watch, but it really wasn't much about that, to be honest with you, with me. And I think that's just more heat and more, build up in the story with Gabriel Kidd and one Prince Amin. Now we get to the good parts, ladies and gents. The Women's Championship and the four-way for the WCPW Championship. The women's title saw Nixon, Newell and Brie Priestley, it's not easy to say, go at it in their rubber match, because they've had one victory each. They decided to make a rubber match and make it a last woman standing match, which was brutal. And it ended with Nixon Newell hitting a suplex on the chair, followed up by a curb stomp, and then the punt, because she trapped Brie's her head between the chair after hitting the curb stomp. The chair, because it was basically like if you were sitting down, if you were going to sit down on it, it was basically in that position. She put her head between the top of the chair and, you know, the actual thing, laid her on it, and basically kicked her head off. She made Randy Orton's punch look good, to be honest with you. Quite frankly, she did it better, and it was a very brutal way to end the last woman standing match. But Nixon Newell, the Welsh wrestler, the Welsh female wrestler, has gone down in WCPW history because she's now the very first WCPW women's champion. And congrats to her on that as well. Looking forward to seeing her defending it. It should be interesting. Other than that, ladies and gents, the fatal four-way match for the WCPW title. It was just a four-way, action-packed, mostly contested with Damo and Rampage Brown wanting each other and just wanting to beat the hell out of each other, quite frankly. But a shocking ending, because like I predicted, even though I predicted a one-on-one match between the two, and it looks like it's going to go down their way, Joseph Connors is your new WCPW champion, because he turned on Joe Hendry, quite frankly. He hit the DDT, he shook his hand, grabbed hold of him, got him in like a cradle DDT, spiked him on his head, gets a 2 count, gets up, picks up a chair, and literally beats the hell out of Joe Hendry with it. And then covers Joe Hendry and becomes the champion. So, feud starting, ladies and gents, and a heel Joseph Connors. No more and Joseph Connors BS no more. It's a heel Joseph Connors now, it seems. And yeah, Joseph Connors shocked the world. Well, shocked WCPW fans by becoming the new WCPW champion. Who's going to be next in line to face him? My guess is it'll be Joe Hendry, because Joe Hendry will be facing, you know, Joe Hendry will be wanting a match. So Joseph Connors' Joe Hendry feud would be interesting. We'll have to wait and see how that pans out. Also, guys, there's still beef between Damo and one Rampage Brown. So I'm guessing at the next big show that airs, I would imagine it'll be Damo one-on-one with Rampage Brown at some point, because that feud, if they don't get that sorted out, that feud, that's going to go on forever. Just my opinion on that. But now, ladies and gentlemen, I want to shoot on something before I end this podcast. During the Bischoff segment, he congratulated Priestley by announcing the fact that he had signed a major wrestling talent to come to WCPW. And we saw this video on YouTube, if you follow them on YouTube as well, and they played it in the arena, and it was a video that Bret Hart, good old Hitman, is coming to WCPW in October. But what I didn't like about it was, and Bret is controversial, there's no question about that. He can be controversial at times, but he had his own opinions and everything. I mean, he had his opinion about Triple H, and a calculated one at that. And he has his opinions about Seth Rollins. You know, he's had his opinions about Seth Rollins, and the list goes on and on. But what I didn't like was, I'm not going to say all the Newcastle fans in there, all the Newcastle crowd in there, because it was for Newcastle. So I'd imagine it was all Geordies. All the crowd in there, I'm not going to say all of them, because there was a majority of them. A majority of them were probably happy. But there was not one reaction in that crowd to a legend coming to WCPW. Basically, there was not one crowd, and I heard boos. I did. I heard boos in there. And say what you want about Bret, but that was not cool for me. That disgusted me. I'm not going to lie. That absolutely disgusted me. And, you know, I mean, like I say what you want, and he has been very vocal lately about Seth Rollins, and the list goes on and on, but a WWE wrestling legend or professional wrestling legend in general, gets booed out the building. Not cool. I'm sorry, but that is just not cool with me. No respect, no nothing. If I was Bret, if I was Bret and I saw that, I'd come there and rip him apart in there. That was just, say what you want, but at the end of the day, I'm in my opinion, I found that disgusting, quite frankly. Like I say, Bret is... You want to disagree with Bret on things at times and say what you want about Bret. I'll watch the man growing up and everything, and for them to do that, boo him the way they did, which it was just quite frankly disgusting, in my opinion. I didn't like that one bit. And no doubt when he arrives in October, they'll cheer him out the building. And if you don't believe me, go back and watch the Bischoff segment and listen and watch it very carefully, and you'll be able to hear what I'm saying. I mean, I'm not bashing the Newcastle crowd. I'm just disappointed in them because at the end of the day, I just found that disgusting. How can you boo a legend like that who's coming to WCPW? It just doesn't make any sense to me. But in any event, ladies and gentlemen, that about wraps it up for this WCPW podcast. Hope you guys have enjoyed it. Hope you guys enjoyed Stacked as well. Very late Stacked as well, because I only got this at the last minute because they announced on Twitter they were going to change stuff and everything, but I didn't know when it was going to come up. And thankfully I managed to see it, and I'm looking forward to the next installments of WCPW. Yes, I follow WCPW, guys. You can listen to the WCPW podcast that I do on SoundCloud, soundcloud.com/wrestling_matters_podcast, and you can also listen to it on YouTube as well, youtube.com/AJW Wrestling Matters. My name is Anthony Walker for this podcast, exclusive to the Wrestling Matters channel on SoundCloud. Until next time, guys, enjoy the rest of the week, enjoy the rest of the day, wherever you may be. Peace out.
Well, enough is enough, and it's time for a change!
Professional wrestling! This is it! This is us standing up! Yes! 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 That's 13-14! Make it till death! Dina, I am the best in the world.
Cause that's the bottom line! Cause Stone Cold said so!